Hello and welcome to the Daily Comic and Collectible, episode 342. Now today, the collectible of the day is the Hasbro Toys Marvel Legends series Retro Kenner line Amazing Spider-Man Venom action figure. Joined with reporter Eddie Brock, the symbiote Venom has only one plan: getting revenge on the Amazing Spider-Man. This 3 3/4 inch scale of Venom is inspired directly from the Marvel comic books. Each figure has premium design, detail, and articulation for posing and display in your collection. This retro-inspired action figure comes on the blister package style card with the vintage Kenner card display. It also has a Venom trading card cut out on the back. Released by Hasbro Toys. Now, the comic of the day is Venom, Lethal Protector, Volume 1, Issue Number 2, with a cover date of March 1993. This is part 2 of a 6-part miniseries, with story by David Michelini, art by Mark Bagley, and cover by Mark Bagley. This issue is titled War and Pieces. While trying to protect some of San Francisco's homeless, Venom battled with diggers that had been hired by Treese International to rouse the homeless of the area. The battle has caused them to fall through the ground into an underground city that looks like it's come out of the early 20th century. At first, the diggers think they've fallen through time, and this shock allows Venom to recover and the sonic cannons and fight back. The diggers realize that this is actually an underground city that their employer has been looking for. The homeless population that have made this place home try to fight back against the intruders, but one is murdered by the diggers. Venom becomes furious and slays the diggers, ending the danger. However, the locals are ready to start shooting at Venom, until one of the homeless points out that he helped save their lives. However, another member of the community is against Venom being among them because of his criminal past. Hearing this, one of their leaders tells them that it's up to their council to decide. Allowed to stay for the time being, Eddie Brock is taken on a tour of this underground city by a woman named Elizabeth. She explains to him that the city is part of San Francisco that collapsed to the ground during the big earthquake of 1908. It was undiscovered until recent times by the homeless population, who decided to make it their home. Meanwhile, above ground, Spider-Man continues a search for Venom, but has found no trace of him. He decides to go to the local newspaper to search for clues in the past. Looking through computer records, the wall crawler finds a record of Venom's father, Carl Brock, and decides to pay him a visit. While back underground, Eddie Brock learns that the council has voted against him living in their community. One of the most vocal members against Venom is Reverend Rakeshaw, who believes that Brock is an abomination of God. Still, Eddie decides to accept their ruling and promises to keep their society a secret. Once back on the surface, Eddie comes up with an idea of how to win the Undergrounders' favor. He decides to go after Roland Treese, the developer who's trying to force them out of their home. He then changes into Venom and swings away. At that moment, Peter Parker pays a visit to the mansion owned by Carl Brock. When he asks Carl if he's the father of Eddie Brock, Carl responds by slamming the door in Peter's face. By this time, Venom has arrived at the head office of Treese International and slips through the security system. In a showroom, he goes over the designs for a park renovation that Treese is doing as a gift for the city of San Francisco. However, he suspects that there's something more going on here than what appears. That's when Venom is discovered by security, who opens fire on him. Brock plays possum until they get close enough for him to attack. While back at Carl Brock's house, Peter Parker changes tactics and returns as Spider-Man, telling Carl they need to talk. Back at Treese International, Venom finishes incapacitating the guards, but with more coming, he decides to take his leave. As he leaps out of the building, he's spotted by someone searching the area in a surveillance van. In a nearby alley, Venom begins planning on what to do about Roland Treese. That's when he's blasted by a flamethrower, knocking him to the ground. That's when he's confronted by Orwell Taylor, who wants revenge on Brock for killing his son. In order to eliminate the symbiote, he has called together his armored mercenaries he calls the Jury. Geek Fact: this is considered a major key, being the first appearance of the Jury, consisting of Bomb Blast, Firearm, Ram Shot, Screech, and Sentry. It's also the first appearance of General Orwell Taylor. Side Geek Fact: this is also the rarer newsstand variant being released in 1993. Bonus Geek Fact: during a vault breakout, Orwell Taylor's son was killed by Venom. Taylor and his other son Max decided to seek revenge. A number of other guardsmen joined them as the Jury. Side Geek Fact: the vault was a prison in the Colorado Rocky Mountains, designed to hold a superhuman criminal. It also had a specialized wing for extraterrestrial prisoners. Another side geek fact: the Guardsmen are a group of elite pilots from the U.S. military that wear the Guardsman's armor that was specially designed by Tony Stark. Another bonus geek fact: Orwell Taylor was once a United States Army general. He and his wife had 2 sons, Maxwell and Hugh. Hugh was working at the vault where he became good friends with Curtis Elkins, and where he was smothered to death by Venom. Orwell wanted revenge and created the Jury. Maxwell became Screech. Sam Calkin, a friend of Hugh's from the Army, became Ramshot. Curtis Elkins became Sentry. It was their mission to bring Venom to justice. Side geek fact: the other 2 members were recruited by Hugh's father Orwell, Firearm, and Bomb Blast. And final geek fact: Roland Treese was the CEO of Treese International and a member of the Life Foundation. Seeking to displace the homeless inhabitants of the underground city and take it for himself, Treese came into conflict with the vigilante Venom. Later, after helping the Life Foundation capture Venom, he believed Venom to be out of the way for good. Treese dispatched a squad of digger suits to bulldoze the underground city, but was again thwarted by Venom. Final side geek fact: the Life Foundation believed in a nuclear holocaust that would bring mutually assured destruction. They created a comfortable fallout shelter for the wealthy, and in order to protect their utopian future society, they created 5 symbiotes forcibly spawned from Venom. Well, I'd like to thank you for joining me for another Daily Comic and Collectible, and I hope to see you again tomorrow. This is Cat Fan Comics Man, and I'll catch you on the flip. Over and out.